granniopteryx, she knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello. I went to a wedding. Well, we went to a wedding a few weeks ago, and the church was there. It was a little village. The church was there, and across the road and just a few yards down, there was the pub. Because that's the way British villages and small towns are organised. There's the church and there's the pub. After the church service for the wedding, we went across the road and had the wedding breakfast in the back room, the function room of the pub. That is the structure of the British village, and it works very well. So when people go to church, they pray communally, but you don't get much chance to chat, of course. And then you go to the pub where you get chance to chat, or you just turned up at the pub without having gone to the church. The point is, it is a place where local issues are discussed, where people talk about things that are going on, when people somewhat beerily discuss political matters, whatever. And this is something that the Labour government or any socialist government cannot stand, because it's a place where independent thought, uncurated by internet controls or just government or just laws, it's a place where people can talk without interference from the government, and they just can't stand that idea. Now, towns and villages who have the communal effort of the hunt are also being targeted. First of all, it was hunting foxes. Now they don't even want people to do drag hunts. I have said this before. A hunt is a very specifically communal effort. You have to, especially a drag hunt, you have to more or less know where the route is. You have to ask farmers permission to go into their fields. Sometimes you can only go around the field and not across it. There has to be a lot of administration, which draws in everybody. And then there are the people who just like to stand and wait for the hunt to come past and see the horses and their own kids, galloping along and are just enjoying the morning out or whatever. And it's a whole community thing. And recently, I might point out, during on Boxing Day, when that's the big hunt day, the hunt day when you get all dressed up and it's very colourful and all the rest of it, there were far more people standing as observers than there used to be, because people are now realizing that this government is trying to tear their communities apart. And we have a similar thing with the pubs. When that pub across the road has been closed down because it's been taxed out of existence by the government, then when you come out of the church after the wedding, where do you go for the wedding breakfast? Well, possibly to some palace of the people that the government have provided for you. And then you go in there, you do your palace of the people stuff, have your photograph taken in front of a statue of Keir Starmer or something, and then you go away. There's no meeting. It's not a palace of the people, it's a palace of the government, which the people are allowed into for specific occasions. It's not a place where people can just sit and talk and discuss drunkenly or not. And it says here, the pub landlords bearing the brunt of Labour's war on locals. It is Labour, it's not a war on pubs, it's a war on free thought. Britain's landlords are in open revolt over Labour's sustained assault on pubs. Publicans across the country have told the Telegraph they're being forced to consider shutting their doors following the increase in business rates, the rise of the minimum wage, and the increase in employers' national insurance. There's also other laws that Labour are coming up with that sort of chip away. For instance, there's now a law, I don't know whether it's actually a law yet, or it will be a law, but it's certainly a brainchild of the Labour Party, that if a customer insults a waiter or a barman or a barmaid or something, then the pub owner is responsible for the hurt feelings of this employee and can be sued. Not the person, not the customer who's being insulting, but the owner. The Telegraph is now campaigning to save Britain's rural pubs by calling on the government to ease the business rates. Well, you can call on them as much as they want. They are determined to stop any sort of communal effort that is not under their control. I don't know how anyone's going to get the government to change its mind. I mean, it did change its mind about the farmers' inheritance tax, not completely though. 2.5 million is still not a marvellous allowance, because a lot of agricultural equipment is horrendously expensive. Just, phenomenal, silly money, telephone numbers type of expensive. So I'm not sure that the 2.5 million is yet enough, but it's something. This government are just interested in breaking down small communities, in shutting down small farms, in shutting down small pubs. And then we're just going to get chains of industrial farms throughout the country, chains of industrial watering holes throughout the country, and that's it. Everything that the government can control. It's just so nakedly obvious. Here, Mr. Lewis, who's the landlord at the Horseshoe in Chipping, Sodbury. Chipping, by the way, means a market town. Chipping, Sodbury, Bristol, is set to see his business rates increase from 24,500 to 34,000. On top of the minimum wage increase, he estimates this will cost up to £800 extra a month. You can't sustain that. You can work all the hours of the day and night. You can't sustain that sort of expense. And as I said, with all this legal stuff hanging over you as well, just doesn't work. So it looks like pub landlords are going to try some sort of action. I don't know what they can do. They can't drive their pubs down the mall to Houses of Parliament like the farmers did with their tractors. So I don't know. If they shut their doors for a while, the Labour Party will only rejoice. So I'd be interested to see how the pub landlords manage this. I have some friends who used to have horses at the stables I keep my horses at, and they left the stables because they moved out of the area because they bought a pub, and I don't know how they're managing now. I think of them a lot. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.